Okay, so this is our Imogene case study project. We have chosen scenario A. To start, we will be looking at Imogene's story.
Hi, I'm Imogene. I don't really want to record this video, but my counselor has been pushing me to start a weekly video diary. I love school. I have two best friends, Olivia and Sophia. We all love Taylor Swift. When we turn to sweet 16, hopefully we get to go to her concert. But with the current money issue at home, I doubt it. I can't even eat properly at home. I love studying, but my dad doesn't understand me at all. Whenever I do homework at home, he yells at me to take care of the house and to look after my siblings. My dad is always drunk since he's having a difficult time finding a job, and my mom mainly hides in her room. Whenever I see my friends' parents, they look very different, kinder, warmer, and more generous.
Next, we will be moving on to the determinants of health. Lower income or poverty can affect access to many things in Imogene's life. Specifically, low income social support can also affect food security. Strong social supports are embedded in networks that serve and can make a positive difference in Imogene's life. Additionally, people who have higher levels of education and stronger skills in health literacy tend to have more capacity to make educated, health related decisions. Due to her low income environment and her parents' negative behavior growing up, she has decreased in the amounts of social supports and education. Imogene's lack of health and literacy and education and negative family function has also created another setback within her life. For example, children's school outcomes are affected most strongly by the neighborhoods in which they live, their family life, the schools they attend, and the resources that are available to them personally and through the school. Next, we have healthy child development. Imogene's early childhood years created various setbacks in her development. Her outer environment wasn't ideal, and she was raised in a relatively low income community. Because her father had struggled with alcoholism and monetary issues, and her mother in resources to raise and support her, they faced various setbacks that could create negative, lifelong effects. One of the most prominent issues of poor childhood development is when the foundation is not laid, there's instability at home. In a study on parental alcoholism and childhood psychopathology, children who had parents who struggled with alcoholism often had high rates of hyperactivity, expensiveness, and poor emotional control. This could lead to negative effects such as setbacks in mental development, engaging with society, and wellness skills when Imogene is older.
So, next we have social networks. A strong social network is the foundation to develop appropriate cultural and social and critical thinking skills, as well as overcoming emotional and mental hardships. For Imogene, the lack of guidance and support from her parents inhibits her from progressing in school due to the stress of taking care of herself and her family. If she perhaps confided with another adult for support, such as emotionally, mentally, or socially, she might be in a completely different environment with more opportunities to succeed. Moreover, according to Quinn, without social networks, people are more vulnerable to developing mental disorders such as depression or an addictive personality disorder later on in life. With a proper support system, Imogene will be able to focus more on her academic abilities and interact with those who not only support her physical needs, but also her pursuits and aspirations as live up to her full potential. So next up, we have the SWOT analysis. Some things that we found as strengths were that she was very sociable and determined for change. She's extremely responsible and has that high potential for maintaining healthy habits when needed. And some weaknesses were that she had a very poor support system, a lot of negative role models in her life. Her parents, additionally, with that, struggle with income and alcoholism, and she shows some signs of bipolar disorder and ADHD, as well as not having enough time to care for herself. As well as with her environment, she has a lot of epigenetic threats that may impact her future. Some opportunities would be her positive social interaction, a supportive school environment and teachers, and she has very good physical health. Moreover, she has a lot of resources around her in order to support her. Some threats were that she comes from a low-income community, a lot of food insecurity, and some childhood trauma that she has. Moreover, there's a lack of healthy parental guidance, as previously mentioned, and abuse from some family members. Moreover, there is a lot of exposure to unhealthy relationships and some genetic mental health disorders.
The community assessment will consist of the Winchell survey, a key informant interview, and a focus group to identify Imogene's strength, needs, current resources, and challenges to develop and prioritize a plan of action. For the Winchell survey, we chose the place Forest Lawn. So Forest Lawn is a low-income neighborhood that has an average rate of 29.32 crimes per capita, comprised primarily of assaults and vehicle theft. In the central street, there is evidence of homeless people. Many police cars are seen surveilling the area to enhance safety. Median total household income is estimated to be about $58,000. Homes range from duplexes to single-family homes and subsidized housing. The thriving community consists of retail, fast food franchises, and culturally diverse restaurants. There are various medical services, churches, and recreational activities. For adolescents and young teens, elementary, junior high, and high schools are walkable distances. Okay, for now, we are going to be doing the key informant interview between Imogene's teacher and the community health nurse.
Thank you for agreeing to do this interview with me. I met with Imogene last week to discuss her stomach concern. She mentioned that she typically doesn't eat breakfast prior to coming to school. She said that it was because of the stress of juggling schoolwork and caring for her 4 siblings. I feel that there are other factors to her stomachache that she hasn't mentioned. Can you tell me more about Imogene?
I have been teaching Imogene for about 4 months now, and all I can say is that she's a smart, kind, and cheerful young lady. She has always been engaged in the school curriculum and is willing to help classmates when they are struggling. 2 weeks ago, she started acting out of sorts. She usually comes to school on time, but she has been missing classes. I also noticed that she gets distracted and nods off often. Her class engagement has decreased considerably.
There are definitely major changes to her behavior. How about her family? Can you tell me more about them?
I have limited information on that matter. She has only ever mentioned her siblings but not her parents, although I think I saw her mom drop her off at school once. I had hoped to arrange a parents' meeting with them last month, but I could not get in contact with either of them.
That is unfortunate. With Imogene's well-being, is she aware of the resources that this school offers?
Yes, she's included in the school nutrition programs. She has also begun meeting with the counselor. Besides that, there are no other programs the school has to offer. I feel like if more programs and resources are available in the school, students would be more inclined to seek help.
All right, thank you for your time. We did a focus group interview to find out if there are any resources available for Imogene, grade 5 student, to support her mental health. Some students attempted to receive counseling but couldn't access it due to the factors like long distance or the requirement to go with their parents. Others mentioned it that group mental health and well-being education conducted at school was helpful, while a few had negative opinions about counseling due to stigma.
So now we're going to move into diagnosis. Assessing Imogene's symptoms and her concerns of stomach aches, her inability to focus, and short attention span, main priorities that need to be addressed include her unbalanced nutrition, isolation from her parents, as well as the potential for sleep deprivation, anxiety, and depression. These are evidenced by her lack of eating, the extensive time she cares for her siblings, and the lack of parent involvement. From these assessments, we are able to form diagnosis statements. As evidenced by Imogene's lack of eating, her imbalanced nutrition is implicitly correlated with the stress of caring for her siblings. If proper steps are not taken, she could experience familial isolation due to the lack of parent involvement at home and in school. Furthermore, she is at risk for sleep deprivation due to her short attention span, and she is also at high risk for developing anxiety and/or depression in the future due to her current social status and past childhood experiences that she is not getting help for.
Next, we will go over the planning stage, which is the level of prevention, levels of action, action strategies, and the determinants of health that correlate with the action strategies. Okay, the level of prevention we have chosen is secondary prevention, which is early detection that intervenes to slow or stop any progressions. Imogene's teacher has noticed changes in her behavior by her not coming to school on time and missing classes. She also noted that Imogene tends to get distracted throughout the day. Imogene's teacher has also been concerned about her stomach aches, and she talked to Imogene, and she confessed that she usually does not eat breakfast, as she is responsible for the care of her siblings. Current interventions that we noted are that she is seeing the counselor and taking part in the nutrition program. For future interventions, because Imogene's teacher has rarely seen her parents, planning a meeting with them would be ideal as it corresponds with our levels of action. We have recognized 2 levels of action that we'd like to take, and the first is the individual. We would like to schedule a follow-up to update her on her nutrition and her current sleep patterns. We also encourage Imogene to continue talking with the counselor to understand more about what is causing her emotional upset. Next, we would like to intervene with her parents, as we would like to find out the situation from their perspective, as it gives us more insight to everything that is happening. We know that they are low income, so we recommend the use of food banks to them. And by helping our parents, we are helping to resolve current and potential situations that could affect Imogene. Finally, we discuss further steps in order to achieve success. Action strategies that we'd like to utilize are creating supportive environments, developing personal skills, strengthening community action. And our goals are to prevent further situations that could deter Imogene and maintain our connection with Imogene.
The 3 determinants of health we focused on were childhood development, income and social status, and social networks and support. We chose 3 action strategies to focus on for Imogene related to the determinants of health. Our first action strategy was creating supportive environments. In order to create supportive environments for Imogene, we would connect her to school support services, such as a school counselor. This would allow Imogene to have a safe space to talk about her feelings and her life, specifically her home life. An additional way to create supportive environments would be to encourage Imogene to join a club or team at her school or in her community, allowing her to build social networks with her peers. One more way we would create supportive networks and environments would be to involve a social worker to do wellness checks at Imogene's home and talk to her family about a healthy home environment. Our second action strategy was developing Imogene's personal skills. Connecting her with a counselor at school or in the community would allow her to build capacity and skills related to coping mechanisms and self-care techniques. Regardless of what is going on in Imogene's life, this will allow her to take better care of herself and handle her emotions in healthy ways. Our third and final action strategy was to strengthen community action. One way to do this would be creating workshops and programs at Imogene's school to educate every child about sexual abuse and home abuse. Another way to strengthen community action would be to implement lessons of healthy habits, such as sleep and nutrition, into Imogene's school.
Moving on to implementation, intervention, and health promotion. At this point, we have identified prevention interventions with the individual, within her family, and within the community to achieve identified outcomes. We introduce therapeutic interventions to recognize and improve lack of self-care before risks relating to sleep deprivation, social isolation, and depression develop. Periodic visits with a school counselor and nurse is in place to provide education, nutrition, and the importance of adequate rest for healthy development. The root cause of Imogene's emotional stress should be identified through routine therapy sessions to help understand her thoughts and feelings, while assistance in developing coping strategies appropriate to her strengths and circumstances are provided. Imogene's emotional state is a result of surrounding circumstances. Restoring the home environment to be positive and welcoming through systemic family therapy will prevent familial isolation as they grow to better understand and support each other. Therapy will also enhance their ability to work through difficult situations in the future. Routine home visitations performed by social workers will ensure progress achieved and is documented for further evaluation. Community resources are available for financial aid and support networks. Community interventions such as donation centers can be utilized for basic needs so that Imogene's family can focus on attaining and maintaining individual well-being through interventions provided above. The YMCA offers free wellness-focused programs and can be a safe space for Imogene and her siblings. The local library programs and support groups can also be similarly utilized. We recognize and utilize her strengths, which include her eagerness and ability to learn, to build on and develop regarding health promotion and risk prevention associated with lack of nutrition and sleep. It is apparent that Imogene's health concerns result from familial influences and emotional stress. Thus, our holistic interventions approach and encompass aspects of health aside from the biomedical standpoint. From a health promotion perspective, we are addressing Imogene's individual and familial needs to create an optimal upbringing environment to intercept the posed threats from becoming reality.
Right, for the evaluation, the process is that within our overall evaluation, we assess her needs and provide us some applicable interventions in order to alter her path in life. We utilize the community and resources around her in order to create a health plan and a social network to support her through this change and further on through life. From this, we saw a change in her attitude with more energy and a positive social and emotional outlook. Moreover, she has less stress, more opportunities to grow, and seems happier in her day-to-day life. For the outcome and impact, with the implications we had, we saw an improvement in Imogene's overall health and were able to have a positive effect on her parents and home life as well. The process of developing various personal skills through adversity provides her with more opportunities and heightens her potential to lead a successful life. Moreover, her relationship with her family and community will improve with proper coping and communication skills, as well as developing a social network and building capacity to lead a better life. She then has the ability to create and maintain healthy relationships and has learned ways to regulate her mental state and overcome hardship. She now has more resilience and self-regulation, as well as the ability to thrive and find more of a sense of self-worth.
I've been continuing to meet with the school counselor about coping strategies for stress and anxiety, as well as sleep management. As for my parents, although they were against home visitation in the beginning, I have begun noticing positive changes in their behavior. After my dad recovered from his alcohol addiction, he's been able to control his temperament and was able to find a full-time job. Thanks to the community nurse and her collaborations with social programs, our community, and my school, she was able to support and resolve issues that were affecting my physical, mental, and emotional health.